Worse if we had a whole bunch more snow on the ground, and thank goodness we don't.
About 180 miles to the west of Dallas, the roads are beginning to ice over. Over a half an inch of ice is expected in the next 24 hours as crops are beginning to freeze over and the winds are picking up.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray, at least 2 deadly crashes reported and thousands of flights disrupted, with the storm forecast to continue into Thursday. It's official in New Mexico. Just getting word a prosecutor has filed criminal charges in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer by Alec Baldwin on the set of his movie Rust. He and the film's armorer have previously said they will fight the charges. Vice President Kamala Harris now planning to head to Memphis tomorrow to attend the funeral for Tyree Nichols, 5 fired officers charged with murder over his traffic stop beating. The president and the House Speaker have a meeting planned for tomorrow on the nation's debt.
Republican leaders say a debt limit increase this year must be accompanied by spending reforms, and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy believes there is room to find common ground with President Biden.
We're responsible to pay. But you wouldn't just raise the limit. You'd find out where you're spending your money. Every family does that. Every business does that.
The White House has insisted Congress raise the debt limit without conditions, arguing Republicans agreed to increases during the Trump administration. The Treasury Secretary says measures extending the debt limit will expire in June. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
McCarthy's office sharing a memo ahead of that meeting, highlighting a vote by then Senator Biden against raising the debt limit in 2006. A late rally on Wall Street, the Dow up about 370 at the closing bell. America is listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
The Indiana Supreme Court will not take up a challenge to the state's current abortion ban, leaving it to an appeals court for now.
The American Civil Liberties Union filed a suit last year on behalf of religious groups, Jews and Muslims included, saying the state ban on abortion, except in cases of rape, incest, or danger to the life of the mother or fetus, goes against when those religious groups deem the procedure to be acceptable. Currently, abortions are legal in Indiana after the state Supreme Court upheld a lower court's block of the law on grounds of privacy violations. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A Milwaukee-based conservative law group challenging new gun regulations on stabilizing braces.
The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty sues the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives in a Texas federal court, challenging a new rule to tighten restrictions on stabilizing braces for firearms that can convert pistols into rifles with a barrel of less than 16 inches. Alleging the rule imposes potential criminal liability on millions exercising their Second Amendment rights, claiming the accessories make firing more accurate and safer. The accessory used in 2019 and 2021 mass shootings. The Biden administration, citing the National Firearms Act, has placed restrictions on short-barreled rifles since the 1930s, arguing they're easier to conceal than long-barreled rifles and more destructive than typical handguns.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. France says more than 1 million protesters have taken part in the latest round of nationwide demonstrations over proposed pension reforms, including raising the retirement age from 62 to 64. Union organizers say the turnout was even bigger, and they're planning more protests next month. Recapping the big rally on Wall Street, the Dow up about 369 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ also gaining more than 1%. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
So again, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Boy, it is a cold one out there, but could be a whole lot worse if we had a whole bunch more snow on the ground. And thank goodness we don't, where they are down double digits down below zero this morning through the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. Meanwhile, none too far outside of Johnny's Place, from just outside of Houston to the Arklatex and up across parts of the Tennessee Valley and Mid-South, a significant ice storm is underway. Sunshine for the day today, light winds here in East Central Illinois, and a cold day at 21. We'll bottom out near 10 tonight. Not so cold tomorrow afternoon, the high near 30, and a light west-southwest wind. We'll moderate to 37 and a sun-cloud blend for the day on Thursday. Friday, colder at 23 under a partly cloudy sky. A little more significant moderation of temperatures expected in the weekend. Next week as well. Highs up to 35 on Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Highs up to 44 on Monday. Looks like our next round of moisture. That'll be rain due in for Monday night and Tuesday of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Peter Olchis, Greg Soldier.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage. I'm kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over!
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielema.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What? We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs. Yeah. Sun's out. It is cold. I'll give you that. But boy, just let it get into your veins, man. Let's go. Got an Illinois basketball game tonight. I'm going to cruise up the interstate to Clifton. Nothing better than going to Clifton tonight. Hayward tomorrow. Williamsville Saturday. I told the high school coach, I said, I didn't see any gas cards that came with the schedule. My goodness. All right, it is The Drive. Good morning. The Drive with Tay and Piper. I am Lante. Derek Piper will be joining us here in a bit. He is working at State Farm Center as Illinois hosts Nebraska tonight. So Kyle Tosk, our intern, is going to jump in with me today. You hear during the intro where I say, you are Reba McEntire's niece. That is Calamity McEntire. She's an assistant coach for the Fighting Illini women's basketball team. Well, she's going to join us again. We're going to talk to her today in the second hour around 4:30. Their practice goes until 4, so we'll talk to Coach McEntire, and I'll try not to be too geeky in asking her questions about Reba, her aunt, because I think Reba's awesome. So we will visit with Coach Mack. I'm excited about – I wonder if they call her Coach Mack. Probably, right? Or is that too obvious?
I think so.
Coach Tyre?
No, that doesn't sound right to me.
Coach Katire? No, Mack.
Mack.
Coach Mack. Yeah, we'll ask and see if
we'll find out.
I assume everybody has nicknames. You know, like hockey is the one that leads the league, right? Everybody's got a nickname in hockey. Like they do post-game, and it's like, they throw out 15 different things, and you have to read between the line to figure out what guy he's talking about. But man, that's what athletics, that's what growing up's all about. I always had a nickname. I'm sure you do too. So I know we talked about that once. But we will talk to Coach McEntire. Excited about that, and we'll visit with Derek Piper here in moments from State Farm Center with Illinois and Nebraska. Kyle, the first time these teams met, it was earlier this season. I went into that game with a little trepidation. Illinois wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders, but certainly they did pretty well against Nebraska, and I think they left with like a 20-point win and did their job. Now, their big man underneath, Walker, got in a little bit of a foul trouble in that game, and Dane Danger, to me, that was kind of the Dane Danger game where he kind of came onto his own in terms of defense to help shut down Walker in that game. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time. You know, I feel like as fans, we try to trick ourselves or scare ourselves into saying, well, you never know. This team beat Creighton, or this team, they beat Wisconsin. Well, you know what? Nebraska should not come here tonight and give Illinois any sorts of trouble. I'm not going to try to convince myself of that. I think Illinois will win this game tonight pretty easily, but I guess you kind of have to take it with a little caution.
I guess. I'm with you, though. I think this is a game that shouldn't ultimately end up being very close. Nebraska, early in the season, they looked kind of like a team that could maybe pull some upsets, and they were playing pretty well, but of late here, blown out by Northwestern at home, blown out by Maryland, blown out by Penn State. So they're kind of on a slide. I know they have a couple guys that are out for the season.
Right.
Jawan Gary, out for the season, who was probably their second best player behind Walker. And I think somebody else, Emmanuel Bandomel, if I'm pronouncing that right.
That's close enough.
Is out for the year. But yeah, in that last matchup, Illinois 76-50 in Lincoln. Terrence Shannon led the way with 25 points in that game. I remember he was someone that you could tell Nebraska just had a hard time keeping him out of the lane. That's something I'd expect to see tonight. Again, Coleman, 12 points, 5 assists in that first matchup. Jaden Epps came off the bench, gave Illinois 11 on 5 of 6 shooting. So, yeah, I think this is a game that Illinois should be able to take care of.
Okay.
They got to be wary to not overlook. It's always that the thing that comes up is like, oh, maybe they're going to overlook them. They got a big game Saturday against Iowa.
Right.
But I think I trust this team to take care of business tonight. They're starting to really lock in, and I'd be disappointed if they had to make us sweat.
No, I'm with you on that, and I think you bring up a good point, especially the idea that. Or I'll throw the point in with a bunch of veterans on the team, right? I mean, you've got, Matthew Meyer, Terrence Shannon Jr., those guys have played a lot of minutes. They understand that these games come along as you go through the season. And certainly while you don't want to take it lightly, you understand that, all right, it's go time. It's time to go take care of business. I always treated it like, this is the time to rack up some points, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good chance to rack up, get me a double-double, score a few more points than I would, maybe hit another 3 than I would, maybe grab a couple extra rebounds. I mean, that was always the way I kind of approached a game like that.
And now with the new metrics, like the net and KenPom, they take stock in like how much you win by in these games. So if you blow a team out by 30, then your metrics are gonna look a little better.
You kind of have to make up for that Missouri loss, right? The way that ended, and also what was the other one? The Indiana loss, right?
Indiana
which was
and
bad.
Penn State.
Yeah. And, you pick up a big road win at Wisconsin, and as you said, you're staring straight ahead at Iowa, and we know how that won't be easy playing in Iowa City at Carver Hawkeye, so that will be a fun Saturday matchup, I think 1:30. So, and that I think is on CBS, if I'm correct. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I think it's Saturday.
It's Saturday at 1:30.
Okay. I was thinking I saw that it was on one of the main network channels, but I could be wrong because I was trying to look ahead to record because I'm going to be on the road going to a basketball game. And Kyle is efforting this as we speak with Iowa and Illinois at Carver Hawkeye Arena on Saturday. FightingIllini.com.
The one time I need to get this.
It's just taking forever.
It's on Fox.
Fox. Okay, my bad. Okay, so it is on Fox, which is, again, one of the networks, I guess. So that'll be on Saturday. But certainly, Fred Hoiberg, they've had, like you said, so many injuries. His son is actually playing quite a bit now. And Brad Underwood talked about how they play a lot of 5-out. They run a lot of sets. And a guy like Fred Hoiberg, and I want to ask Derek Piper this, a guy like Fred Hoiberg who has a lot of NBA tendencies loves to run sets because they do that all the time in the NBA, more so than they do in college. So it'll be interesting to see how that works today, and I'm sure Illinois, which had a quick turnaround after their victory at Wisconsin on Saturday, it's a quick turnaround to prepare and prep for Nebraska, but certainly you've already done it one time this year. So that'll be the key with that as we go along. But Illinois and Nebraska, that'll be key. I know the Illini women are at Michigan on Thursday, and we'll talk to Calamity McIntyre, Coach Mack, about that in the second hour.
And that one is on BTN.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, after I had yelled at BTN for not showing Illinois games, and now they've shown 2 in a row. So that's awesome for the Illini women's basketball team and Illini fans being able to watch that game in Ann Arbor. Again, that's tomorrow night. No, I'm sorry. Tonight's Tuesday. That's Thursday night. I'm getting my week all messed up. Are you excited for the Super Bowl at all before we take a break and get pipes on? We can't complain about a heck of a matchup here between the Eagles, who I feel like they've kind of flown under the radar, if you will. Excuse the pun. But, they've kind of just flown under the radar of a team that just kind of dominated in the NFC, and there was nothing really too exciting about them. It was just every week they were winning. They were winning with a lot of defense. Jalen Hurts is arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, even though he doesn't put up kind of fantasy numbers, but he likes to run, which helps. So you've got that side, and then on the other side, you've got kind of the team that everybody knows about, and everybody kind of seems to be drawn to with the Kansas City Chiefs, thanks to Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and others on that squad. But it is kind of funny to me how the way I look at it is, yes, I'm excited about this. I don't know that we even really understand how good Philadelphia is, and we might see that come Super Bowl time against Kansas City.
I agree. I think it's a great matchup. Your point about the Eagles, I can understand too, because they're 2 games in the playoffs so far. They just blew out the Giants, who are a team that, while they had a heck of a season, I don't know how many people took them seriously going into that game. And then they play the 49ers with their whole quarterback situation, blow them out. So we really haven't gotten much excitement surrounding them in the playoffs so far. And now they're going to get tested by Patrick Mahomes, that Chiefs offense. I'm really excited to see that. But man, I'll have a official prediction as we get closer to the game.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of leaning into the Eagles.
Okay.
I don't know. I think they just kind of have that magic to them. I think I saw something that said they're going to have all 22 starters healthy for this game or something.
They
which
have
is
been healthy all year.
Extremely rare.
Yep.
So I feel like pieces are aligning, but I never want to overlook the Chiefs.
Yep. Jalen Hurts got banged up a little bit near the end, but it was against the Bears. I mean, he ran and ran and ran in that game. And, so he got beat up kind of when they didn't really even need him. He just kind of took a couple days off. I did hear today Brock Purdy tore like a UCL or something.
6-month recovery.
Yeesh. And Trey Lance still battling back from the ankles. So right now the Niners, then they mentioned Tom Brady going to the Niners. I was like, really? That could be interesting. So, but we'll talk a lot more about the Super Bowl. That, of course, this horrific 2 weeks here where we hit nothing, and wait for 2 weeks after you're just ready to continue to watch football for sure. But luckily, we've got plenty of Illini basketball. Again, Calamity McIntyre, the assistant coach for Illinois, will join us next hour, and we'll ask her about things that are happening right now for this basketball team, including Michigan this weekend. And then, of course, when we return, we've got Derek Piper joining us from State Farm Center. He just assured to me that, yes, I'm ready to go. So let's do a little business before we get to Derek. While millions of people dream of entrepreneurship, fear of failure often holds them back. Busey wants you to know that with knowledge, determination, and a strong business plan, you can be the next successful entrepreneur. Now, do demographics matter? Well, age is just a number. Most significant numbers of entrepreneurs are nearly 45 years old. That's pretty awesome. And it's not genetic. You don't have to come from success to be successful. Now, they have a couple of tips on a startup plan. You need to have a business plan, a formal statement addressing your company's purpose, goals, strategies, and finances. That helps you achieve short-term goals and maintain progress long-term. And then, of course, the execution, putting in that extra time and hard work early on especially, is crucial if you're wanting to start and own your own business. Although challenging, starting that business doesn't have to be frightening. Busey promises to provide you with the resources you need to help you succeed. Contact Busey today to determine which products and services are right for your business. They are just there, essentially. Busey has just been here forever, and they are there to help you with your banking and even starting a business that can do it all. That is Busey, member FDIC.
Illini fans, your place to pregame is Pia's, with great drink specials and food before Illinois hits the basketball court at the State Farm Center. take the free Illini shuttle, leaving 30 minutes before each home game. Get there early to ensure your seat because Pia's free Illini shuttle only makes one run. Stay in good spirits with your plastic cup on the bus on the way to the game. It's Pia's, 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign. Go Illini!
Get ready for the 7th annual Champaign County Area Restaurant Week. This 9-day celebration features our diverse and award-winning culinary scene with Filipino, Indian, Cambodian, Thai, Mexican, Caribbean, Italian, Zambian, vegetarian, vegan, soul food, farm to table, and standard American fare. You'll be able to find a restaurant, share your experience, and dine in or take out. It's Restaurant Week, January 27th through February 4th. For details, go to visitchampaigncounty.org.
By now, you've all heard the expression, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. But who are they? They, the PDR staff, understand that a name is only as good as the people that represent it. The PDR staff has more than 335 years of combined automotive experience, several employees now on staff for more than 25 years. PDR, more than just a name. Family owned and operated, now celebrating over 50 years in business.
If you're in the market for a new car battery, you could go to one of those big box stores, except there's no guarantee you'll be served by an actual car expert.
Clean up in aisle 3.
You could pick a battery off the shelf, except it might be close to expiring. Or you could just come into Interstate. Don't make a big box store blunder. With competitive prices and a more personal, reliable approach, Interstate Batteries is the clear-cut choice if you want to guarantee yourself a new and trustworthy car battery. They're open and ready to serve you at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign.
The next time you're out and around, why don't you stop into Pards in Urbana? Quality and service, that's her motto. And they have so much more than Western gear. A huge selection of jewelry, Breyer collectible toys, gift cards, and the best boots you can buy anywhere. They feature an enormous collection of jeans, shirts, outerwear, belts, and hats. Pards is so much more than just a Western shop. Stop in and see it for yourself, just off University Avenue or online at pards.com.
Hey Illini fans, it's your girl Chineo Gumike. Catch Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, Kyle, thanks for messing with me there. You know, I just realized I didn't call Pipes. Why don't you tell everybody what you just told me about the Denver Broncos and how this is going to upset me as an Arizona Cardinal fan? Can you go ahead and do that?
I can. It's my fault that you didn't call him. I distracted you with
totally
this news.
did. You totally
so
distracted.
I apologize, but
that's all right.
Sean Payton is on his way to Denver to be the next head coach of the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are sending first-round pick in this draft and an early pick next year in order to get Sean Payton as their next head coach. So no Arizona for him.
No, that doesn't surprise me. Nothing ever happens well for the Cardinals. Nothing. I don't know how. There is maybe one or two other organizations in all of professional sports doomed more than the Arizona Cardinals. It's true. It's just absolutely true. And it's so frustrating. I know that the Cardinals, I'm sure the Saints wanted that number 3 pick this year, and Arizona was like, no. But, you know, you've got a chance to land Sean Payton, who is one hell of a coach, and you're not going to do it now. And I wonder, anyway, if Sean Payton was it was always kind of hinted all along that he would kind of go to the Broncos. So I don't know if it was just more of I'll go talk to the Bidwills and the Cardinals just to, give him a little. He used to be the ball boy for the Cardinals back when he was young. So I don't know if he did that just as a way of saying, hey, appreciate it, but I'm out. So I don't know. I don't know what the Cardinals do. I guess your next, you go to the next, it might be Brian Flores. I don't know. Who knows? It just, nothing ends well for the Arizona Cardinals. And if you're a coach, you got Kyler Murray hurt next year. You're in all sorts of crazy cap predicaments, and you've got veterans that are hurt. Zach Ertz will be out. Kyler Murray will be out for a while. So it just is, I don't know. It's a struggle, and whatever. The one thing I'm used to is the bad news being delivered, and that's just another in a long line of bad news when it comes to the Cardinals and their football program. I just texted Piper to ask if he would call in, but I don't know if hopefully he'll get this text and give us a call. so we can talk to him there at State
Would
Farm
you have
Center.
been okay with giving up this draft capital for a head coach?
I don't know. That's a good question because I don't know where the Broncos select. Are they like 8th?
I'm trying to remember because they lost one of their picks.
That's right.
In the Russ trade, which is their actual pick, and they were terrible. So that's
right.
the high pick. So the one they must have gotten is the one the Dolphins gave them for Bradley Chubb, which is like 20 or something.
Okay, so that's So I don't know. Like I'm not giving up a number 3 pick in a draft. I'm just not doing it. Unless you said that's all you get. Like you can have the 3 pick this year, but that's it.
Even still, are you choosing Sean Payton?
Yes.
Over like Will Anderson?
Yeah, I am. I know what Sean Payton is. I don't know you. I mean, I assume Will Anderson's going to be an absolute stud if the Cardinals land him. But, yeah, I am. All right, Derek Piper, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Joining us from the State Farm Center on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line is Derek Piper. The news coming out that the Broncos are finalizing a negotiation with Sean Payton. They're sending a first round this year to Denver and then first round next year or
second round next year?
Second round next year. So, I don't know, is that price too high for a coach, Derek Piper?
Man, it's a hefty price to pay. But if they believe that he can get Russell Wilson right, then ultimately they'll be worth it. And obviously, Sean Payton, a great offensive mind. I didn't know that the price tag was going to be that high, obviously. To throw in a first and a second. Would you have been willing to do that live? Like you guys are talking about, you got the number 3 overall pick here for your first round. So maybe it wouldn't have been
I just asked him
upper
that.
first round like you guys.
Right. I'm thinking if the Cardinals had 10 or beyond, I would do it. Yeah, in a heartbeat, I would do it. I just don't. That's hard with that 3 pick. I mean, like in other words, I would have said to him, okay, you can have this year's 3, but that's it. You're not getting anything. You're not getting anything next year either. But I'm sure that was part of it. And that's so interesting that normally with coaches, you're just hiring a coach. That's the interesting part of the Sean Payton saga is that not only are you having to hire a coach for a lot of money, he'll make a ton of money, $20 million plus probably. But you're also then having to give away draft collateral for him. And it just puts a whole new spin on it, and you wonder what teams were like, nope, I'm not going that way, or did he just really like Denver the entire time? So we'll find out. We'll find out as we go here. But as usual, the Cardinals always kind of second fiddle, like 30-second fiddle. If there are enough of those. All
Still
right.
in the orchestra.
Right. We are at the very last. The person that just sits there and just repeats watermelon, so it appears they're singing the correct thing. All right, so Derek Piper, you got Nebraska coming to town tonight. Illinois just really had a pretty easy time with them in Lincoln. What makes me assume, or is there anything that would worry me about them not doing the same exact thing to the Huskers tonight?
I think the only thing that you'd worry about is a letdown because you're in between 2 road games that are big. You go to the road and win at Madison over the weekend, and obviously that's a really big win and a tough place to come out with a victory. And then you got on the other end this upcoming weekend, you're in Iowa City. So the tendency to look at Nebraska on paper, to know that you beat them by 26 in Lincoln and maybe relax a little bit again. Like you're saying, other than that, there really is nothing that sticks out. I mean, it's still the Big Ten. You're still going to have to get up for every team. We know that anything could happen. This Wisconsin maybe was doing that last year, the last game of the regular season, kind of, okay, it's Nebraska. We're just going to clinch this outright Big Ten title and ho-hum, and we'll have the celebration. And obviously Nebraska got it done for Illinois. Right. So anything can happen, but beyond that, I mean, the McGowan's brothers are gone. Verge is gone. Even the team that Illinois saw a few weeks ago, they've since lost 2 starters out of that group. And Juwan Gary, a guy that's 6'7" forward, pretty good athlete, and a transfer out of Alabama, was one of their top additions this offseason. And then Emmanuel Bandamel from SMU, someone that has good size and can shoot it a little bit. So a team that's definitely reeling, a team that's gotten hammered on the road here of late. They have pulled off some victories at home against Ohio State, against Iowa, and then took Purdue to the wire back in December. So they've been a lot more feisty at home. Illinois was able to get out of that, being, not being a trap. They were able to take care of business, and I think as Illinois continues to build consistency, this is something that you just want to protect home court. I think it's a chance to really get your offense going. I wrote about that in my preview, that it's been a very top-notch defensive unit of late, but I think offensively you've got some things that you can improve upon, especially as you look towards the weekend and know, as we were talking about yesterday, you're going to have to score some points to beat Iowa on the road this weekend.
Derek, Terrence Shannon is coming off a tough game on Saturday against Wisconsin, but in Lincoln,
but
against Nebraska, he had one of his better games of the year, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 4 steals. Do you envision a bounce-back performance from him tonight? Do you think Nebraska is going to struggle to contain him again?
They should. When you look at the fact of Shannon's athleticism, can give them a hard time, and Illinois did a really good job of moving the ball in that game and being able to get Shannon downhill and have just kind of, I think that was one of the best games. Now, Nebraska not a very good team defensively or just not a very good team overall, but that was one of the games where just the flow offensively, just kind of having everything going on that given night. You scored upper 70s. That was something that really stood out. So for Terrence to bounce back after a rough game there against Wisconsin, he's kind of had some moments where he goes into the teeth of the defense and maybe struggles to score. And the fact that the three-point jumper is not really rolling for him like it was earlier in the season, I think it kind of makes him a little bit predictable in what he wants to do. But still, he's a freight train downhill. Still, that Illinois is getting stops. You obviously know that he can get out in transition. So I would look for Illinois to try to get him going early. I think that's obviously important, just to have him complement Matthew Meyer. And if you're thinking about Illinois playing their best basketball, you need to get Terrence going here and a little bit more consistent. Not to say that he's been bad. I mean, I was looking through some of the stats today and trying to map out, mid-season all Big Ten teams. He's got a case to be in the first team. Probably, I would slot him high on the second team right now, but still, again, like a guy that's been one of the better players in the league and has done some really good things for Illinois. So Nebraska not having, a whole lot of dudes in general, that gives you a tough time. And I think Terrence at home and coming off a tough one should probably looking to get his. And I think it's a good night for everybody really to be able to have a nice scoring performance.
Pad those stats, baby. Pad them. Derek Piper, you know the voice, you know the guy. He is co-host, of course, of The Drive with Say and Piper. Derek Piper joining us on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. There's just not a lot of questions to ask you when it comes to Nebraska. There just isn't. I know that the first time they played, Walker got into a little foul trouble, but I also think Dane Danger really showed up that game, especially defensively, and we kind of were, early on you were really impressed with Danger and how easy he is. He moves with the ball or without the ball, how he can dribble, how he can use both hands, kind of like Georgie B around the glass and the rim. But I felt like defensively that was kind of the first game that I really noticed, his length in terms of his arm reach, et cetera, and his strength going against Walker, who last year kind of hurt you a little bit. So in your mind, I don't want to ask you about Danger tonight against Walker, but just in general, how has Danger kind of progressed this season in your mind, Derek? Because, this is a guy that came in basically as a freshman with hardly any playing time essentially at the D1 level, and we just didn't really know what to expect. We knew that in high school he was a top recruit. We knew he went to a program in Baylor that, had won a national championship, so obviously he is a recruit that was coveted, but now that he's here, now that you've seen what he can do, and I feel like we've seen enough of the ups and maybe a little bit of the downs, where are you at right now with Dane Danger as you look at this season and project ahead in his career at Illinois?
Yeah, that last point that you made on the question, I think the exciting part is you still have a couple more years with him, so to see what he can develop into ultimately is going to be exciting as he continues to figure out some things as far as positioning defensively and just growing, because it's a guy that still has only played about half a season of college basketball. So I know Brad's talked about that a lot recently, just kind of the maturation process that he can still go through. I think still trying not to do too much in certain instances where he'll get the ball, maybe be a little bit too fancy or over dribble, or maybe try a spin move when it can just be kind of a simple power dribble and go up with the shot. But the fact that he can finish with either hand, I mean, he can get to the left hook, the right hook, the fact that he can kind of face you up and take you off the dribble. It's just kind of cleaning up some of the possessions where he'll over dribble or he'll try to do too much. But I think we've seen that he can make a pretty good rebounding impact, and that's something that he can do maybe a little bit more on a consistent basis. There are some games where he'll be 8 to 10 rebounds, and some where maybe he only has 3 or 4. But so that's still something that he can do. And I think as the year's gone on, I think he's gotten more comfortable defensively, understanding the drop coverage, understanding positioning, and how he can use his enormously long wingspan to be able to contest shots. He's someone that, while he did drop a good amount of weight, still obviously has a big frame that can bang there in the post and not get moved off his spots. And to your point about Walker, like Walker is 6'9", same with Dane, and but while Walker, it's kind of funny, like you talk about the size against size, it's like, well, Kofi was even bigger, and Walker had a really nice game against Illini last year. Walker's just kind of he's that tough, tenacious guy. It's going to try to out effort you on the glass, going to finish well inside if you allow him to. But Dane being able to contest and block his shot, which he did early in that game, kind of sent a message to him, and we saw it happen when Dane was getting blocked by Trace Jackson-Davis. All of a sudden, it kind of takes you out of your rhythm. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think Dane's been really good. He's an upper tier. He's got a chance to be an upper tier big man in the Big Ten. I think right now you put him on a list. If you listen out the number of bigs out there, I mean, there's a number of good ones, but he's somewhere probably middle of the pack as far as starters, or maybe just a hair above. But as you go forward, he's got a chance to continue to refine his game, and a former top 50 prospect when he committed to Baylor. And that was a lot based on his offensive talent, but now we're seeing defensively how much of an impact he can make too.
Derek Piper, just one more from me, and then maybe Kyle can kind of ask you essentially about the game tonight and what you're expecting. Sincere Harris, I know there was a question yesterday to Coach Underwood about Sincere, and, he got injured a little bit, but, this is another guy that just came on like fire. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, this kid needs to play, and then he started starting for this Illinois team. How are you with, because I do feel like there have been some up and downs with Sincere, but how are you in terms of what you're seeing out of him? Kind of a similar question with what I just asked you about Dane. How are you seeing that with Sincere and just his progress moving forward and what you expect out of him?
I know his minutes have declined some here recently now that Jaden's been inserted in the starting lineup, and it's obvious that Sincere is still a guy that has some offensive challenges. It's going to be, especially when you get in the lineups, and I think that's one thing that's kind of concerned me a little bit, and I think it's something for Brad to try to figure out, is now that you have a bench rotation that has RJ, that has Sincere, that has Ty Rodgers, especially when RJ is fighting the shooting slump that he's in, you can get some lineup combinations that are really tough to make it, a good deal at the offensive end. You can go through some slumps and just kind of at times have lineups where it's like, well, we got Matt and Dane out there, but outside of that, there's 3 guys that are kind of hurting us or just don't present a huge threat. I think you still got to honor RJ for the most part when he's going to get those looks, because he's capable of knocking them down, and it could be just a matter of a flip of a switch. If 1 or 2 go, maybe it breaks through. But we know that Sincere is someone that I think on the whole has shot the 3 a little bit better than I would have expected. Yeah. It's something that he's capable of doing, but you're not going to give him a whole lot of those looks if you're drawing it up offensively. I like his energy, obviously, his toughness, his defense. I think that there are times where he tries to drive it to the rim when his finishing rate has left a lot to be desired for the most part, so that's still something that he's got to grow into. Now, big picture, I think as he gets stronger, as he kind of gets more composed, like he's someone that plays up to 100. If you're dialing it all the way up, maybe understanding that you get midair, you can kind of compose yourself, and that's stuff that happens as you get more comfortable, as you get games under your belt, and you kind of figure that whole thing out. So I think that going forward, he'll be someone that can add that to his game. I'm really excited about what Sincere can ultimately be. Yeah. I think, we've talked about it, like a Tajay Moore from Houston, just one of those long, feisty defenders that's athletic. And obviously has great bounce, and the fact that he's flashed the three ball a little bit, flashed the ability to get to the rim, he's just got to finish. It's someone that in time can be a really nice player, and he's done a lot more this year than most people would have expected.
They're going to win tonight, right? Can we get your official prediction? Is Illinois going to blow them out of the building tonight, or do you think that it could get a little hairy at any point?
They need to blow them out. They need to blow them out tonight. They need to offensively really look within themselves and say, all right, it doesn't matter who we're playing. Let's get some consistency at the offensive end. Let's know that, Iowa, for as good as we played defensively, can put up 80 on us, and we're going to have to be able to get that thing going. Let's try to get RJ going. Let's try to have another game where Ty can really have a nice, productive night and continue to build towards being someone that, whoever we're playing, we can think that Ty Rodgers can have a good game. Terrence Shannon, on down the line. I think this is a night where you're at home. Why not run up the score a little bit? Why not just kind of get things going and just take advantage of a Nebraska squad that's kind of hurt? And I think there is kind of that tendency or that trap you can fall into to maybe early on they're a little sleepy or they're a little not all the way engaged. And obviously Brad, you know how he is. And we'll turn it up in the huddles and everything. But I have Illinois by 20. I think
Let's go.
I think they blow them out. I think they have a nice offensive showing. I got 78-58. Nebraska's just really hurting. Unless Tominaga comes in here and hits 6 or 7 threes, and Derek Walker has a really good game. I just don't see any other avenue for Nebraska really to make it all that terribly close.
Pipes, I dropped the ball. I got another quick one. Our Muhammad listener on the U of I Atlantic text line had asked, why wouldn't Nebraska zone Illinois with their struggles from three? Can you answer that real quick? I'm sorry.
I mean, I agree. I think there's something to give a look at when you think about, Illinois wanting to get the ball into Dame, wanting to have Terrence get downhill. And as I was looking at it today, Illinois still, they're 12th in the Big Ten in three-point percentage throughout league play. They're a hair below, I think, 31%. So then just in their home building last week went 5 for 28 from three. So I think I could totally see that. I think it's something to give a look at. Of course, when you zone, you can give up offensive rebounds and everything. But I think if you're Fred Hoiberg and you know the talent discrepancy that you're going into this game with, why not try anything and everything? And that's still a big thing that Illinois has got to answer to. If you're looking on paper at what hasn't really clicked for them offensively, it's the three-point shooting, it's the free throws. Those are really the ones, kind of big picture, that still kind of stick out like a sore thumb. So if you want to come in and try to make Illinois shoot threes, I think that's a good game plan. And to that listener's point, maybe we'll see that tonight.
That's a good call. Derek Piper, great stuff. As always, you'll be on Channel 3 here soon, right?
Yes, I will. I think it is 4:45 we're going on. So a little bit later than we anticipated, but I appreciate you guys holding it down. And
yeah.
Kyle, I won't knock you too much for not standing out in the cold. You got you got 4 more years of this, so you got to conserve yourself.
I loved how he sat there and he's like, well, it is Nebraska. And I'm like, you're already starting to
You're setting that tone.
Yep, setting the tone. That's exactly right. That's
blame me if Illinois loses tonight. I overlooked him.
Derek Piper, thanks, buddy.
See you guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, man. That is D Pipes on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. Yeah, what we're talking about is that you were part of the Orange Crush. So you, of course, and the rest of the Crush wait in line so that you can get down and get the best seats, right? You're not guaranteed a seat. Now,
first come, first serve, so you got to get there early.
What if you're the president of the Orange Crush?
Well, yeah, they're right up there in the front, leading the chance.
So how many of the Orange Crush? Because I've always wondered this, and I'm sure we have a lot of listeners that their entire life have gone to the games and they see the Orange Crush and they just know that there's a bunch of you guys down there, which is awesome. How many actually have an assigned seat compared to, do you know this? I know you're young into it. Okay.
I don't know it.
I mean, because I would hate the idea of having to battle for a seat every time.
Well,
so if this was Purdue in town for the Big Ten title and it's a 7:00 game, what time would you get in line to make sure that you're one of those that are sitting down below?
See, so I learned my lesson on that in that first game against Penn State.
See, this is why you like veterans.
That sleepy Saturday morning game against Penn State back in December.
Those are the ones you got to take advantage of as a freshman.
Oh, I know.
Because the other guys are out.
I made a mistake, though, because I just was such a rookie that I showed up there too late, and I got stuffed up in the 200 level. They didn't have any more floor seats.
You probably felt better that day than anybody else in that crush line because they had all gone out until 3 a.m., That was when you've got to take advantage.
I know.
Kyle.
But that's what I'm saying. That was my first time. Okay. So I was like, I learned my lesson now. And then for Indiana 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Okay.
3 hours before is when I got there.
Are you guaranteed, though, a seat at State Farm Center?
Yes. So if they run out of floor seats, they chuck you up in the 200 level for overflow seating.
So I've always wondered that. So there's obviously 300 of you. So they have to account. I'm just making this up. So State Farm Center, Illinois, has to account for 300 of you somewhere. Does that make sense? Let's say 200 are down low, then they've got to make sure they got 100 seats for the rest of you guys up top. That's a tricky. That seating thing is a little tricky. So in other words, you right now, nobody else can join the crush and come to games. That's set in stone right now.
Well, if you got that 37-minute window back in September where you bought the tickets, then you're good. But I know some people will give them, if they're not using them, some people will jump in. So you had to be on the Illinois website from 5 to 5:36 on September whatever.
Do you note that you're part of the crush, that you want to be part of the crush? Is that what you say on your?
I don't know. I think if you just buy it and you show up and then you can get in on some of their fundraising opportunities and stuff like that once you got your tickets.
Okay. Well, find out some more about the crush, and then I want to know how many people are assigned a seat. I would assume if you're a senior, you've earned the credibility to not have to be there 3 hours before a game. Oh, I want you to answer that though. So now that you know what you're doing, last question. If Purdue was in town, winner wins the Big Ten, 7:00 game, what time would you start to line up?
I don't know. I'd probably have to get there 3 or something like that. I mean,
Coach will buy you pizza.
Game,
Coach buys you pizza sometimes, doesn't he? Has he done that yet?
Not that I've been.
Okay. I think he's done that in the past where all of a sudden a bunch of pizzas show up for you guys, which is a cool outlet. And I would say if there's anybody out there that just has extra money laying around and wants to buy pizza for the crush, I bet you guys wouldn't turn it down.
No one would turn down some free pizza while they're waiting in the cold to get into it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. I think if that were me, I think I'd be there at noon. Yeah. Especially if the weather was nicer, because by the time it's the last game of the year, it's March 10 or something.
That's a good point.
I think I would show up at noon.
Yeah, you're smarter than me already.
Forget classes, pack a cooler, go buy one of those white coolers at a gas station. Yeah.
Just may as well get there at 6 a.m.
Get there the night before, take a little grill. You'd be good to go. I think that's what you need to do. I think you don't want to miss a championship game. You just don't want to do that. All right, good stuff with Deep Pipes. We always appreciate Derek joining us. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll talk a little more NFL. There was another hiring.
Do you want me to go through a couple of the stats from?
Oh, yes. That's what we're going to do. Kofi, Georgie, Trent, how they're doing. We're going to do that next. It is The Drive.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Hi, we're your Prairie Gardens plant experts. Let's talk about winter houseplant care.
Two things you'll want to do is water less and stop fertilizing because houseplants go dormant in the winter or really slow down. And you'll also want to hold off on doing any repotting until March or so.
It's also a good idea to move your houseplants to where they may get a bit more sun.
Just make sure to keep them away from drafts and vents when you do move them. Come to Prairie Gardens. We are here to answer all your plant questions.
I've got to clean out this garage. Let's see. What's the cheapest and easiest dumpster service in our area?
Here's what I found. The doggy bag.
Think she's broken. I'm not looking for takeout. Siri, try again.
The doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal in Mahomet.
Doggy bag? What's that?
If you got junk that needs to go, but you don't want the hassle of having an enormous dumpster delivered, grab a doggy bag, keep it as long as you need. They'll come take it away. For more information, just visit bulldoggybag.com.
That's bulldoggybag.com.
Norm Miller here, chairman of Interstate Batteries. You know, without batteries, life would be pretty lifeless. That's why Interstate All Battery Centers carry them in every size, shape, and style, so you can drive, drill, call, film, or do whatever it is you want to do. Stop in today. They've got the power to keep you going. Interstate All Battery Center. Outrageously dependable.
Interstate All Battery Center. You'll find them outrageously dependable just over Interstate 74 at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign, with batteries for most every application in stock.
PDR Automotive in Urbana is a locally owned repair shop, and they've now serviced over 250,000 vehicles in their near 50-year history. Now, that's more than 4 times the size of a sold-out Memorial Stadium. It's more than all Division I athletes in the country combined. That's more than the entire population of Champaign County. That's more than, well, you get the idea. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window, and we're proud to be your choice for the 2021 People's Choice Awards for the 3rd year in a row. We want to say thank you by offering buy one, get one 50% off on all windows. And you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com. And remember, at Kramer Siding and Window, you have a friend in the business.
Looking for a custom design that stands out for your business? Wanting to get your vehicle wrapped but just don't know where to go? It's Aftershock Decals and Designs. From vehicle wraps to building designs, Aftershock creates designs that make heads turn. Heck, they wrap all of Land's heating, cooling, and plumbing trucks and vans. The one where Troy Lands is waving, that's Aftershock. Aftershock Decals and Designs. Heck, they also do signs, banners, even amazing coffee tumblers. Check them out at AftershockDD.com.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. Don't miss the final days of our Everything BOGO sale. Through Sunday only, you can buy 1 square foot of any floor and get the second foot half off. That's any carpet, any floor. Our hottest selling luxury vinyl floors, durable and pet-friendly carpet, beautiful hardwood, and classic tile. It's all BOGO half off, including our Shaw Floors collection and incredible waterproof Cortec floors. Discounts on material only. See store for details. Then shop our amazing selection of furniture, rugs, and accessories. It's all buy one, get one half off. Plus, you can buy any carpet or any floor with special 2 years financing with 0 interest. You'll always find unmatched service from our family-owned business. If you're ready to start a project, we're here for you. Don't miss the Everything BOGO sale through Sunday only at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. We're flooring people.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Mike Greenberg. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Was awesome. Just got to chat with a good friend of mine, Tammy Roberts, Roof Doctors. If you need your roof done, I'm telling you, they get it done. Roof Doctors, give them a call. They're located there in Urbana. They handle Champaign, Urbana, all the surrounding area. Tammy and Randy, they're great, great people. All right, Kyle, you were assigned 2 tasks. I gave Tosk a task. How about that? Was that good?
Not bad.
Okay. I mean, you weren't too impressed. So I gave you the assignment like 3 weeks ago of looking up Kofi's stats, Georgie's stats, and Trent. And then I asked you yesterday to come up with the season series for all of the Big Ten versus Illinois. And we're going to do that to start next hour, which will be cool. We'll also hear a little bit from Brad Underwood, and we're going to visit with Coach McIntyre, Calamity McIntyre, the assistant coach for Illini women's basketball. We'll visit with her next hour. But until then, let me do a little... Oh! I know they're not in the NCAA anymore, but What is Kofi, Georgie, and Trent? What are they up to these days?
So Kofi is playing in Japan. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce the name of the team he's playing on. I'll just tell you.
Fair.
He's playing in a league in Japan, and this won't surprise you very much, but he's averaging 20 points, 13 rebounds.
Wow!
On 56% shooting from the floor. A block, a steal, 2 assists. So he's
doing his thing.
He had a 21 rebound game, it looks like, a couple weeks ago down there. So same guy we're accustomed to seeing. Trent Frazier, though, is, I don't know if I expected this. He's averaging 20 points, 6 assists, shooting 45% from 3 in a league in Serbia.
Wow.
He is having a heck of a year. Had a 45-point game on January 3rd in which he made 8 threes.
That's awesome. And we know we've seen him go on those heaters.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome. And how about Georgie B?
Georgie is currently playing for the College Park Skyhawks in the G League.
Okay.
And is coming off the bench, averaging about 21 minutes a game, 7.6 rebounds, 52% from the field.
All right.
Last year, he was a starter on the Grand Rapids G League team for a little bit of time and averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds.
Okay.
So looks like his role is diminished a little bit, but he's still doing some things, still contributing down there in College Park near Maryland.
That's awesome. And I would assume Georgie at any point could go overseas.
For sure.
And play, especially maybe closer to his home. So I just think that for right now, he's still kind of in fact, I dare say, I guarantee you almost that Trent and Kofi are making more money than Georgie. But Georgie's still in that G League trying to get that next step to the NBA. I wonder what that will mean for Trent and Kofi in the future. Like if Trent keeps doing what he's doing here,
I would think so.
I just think his size really would hurt him in the NBA. I just think that would really be it's hard to be that size.
I agree, but at the same time, like just to see him, if he could get like a summer league invite or a camp invite, I mean, I think that's what you'd hope to see from him. And
agree.
And for a guy that's shooting as consistently as he's shooting, averaging 20 points, and I think he'd and what he can do defensively too, I think he'd at least get a look this summer.
I would agree. And with Kofi, of course, hopefully he's working on things in Japan that would hopefully equate to getting him here. I'm going to stop saying the word hopefully. When we come back next hour, again, we'll talk to Coach Calamity McIntyre from the Illini women's basketball team. But how has Illinois basketball done, men's, against the rest of the Big Ten? Kyle did some homework on this, and we're going to look at all the season series, the career series, not season, going back on Illinois and the rest of the foe. We'll do it all next. It is The Drive.
Jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Buy the AC and get the furnace for free. You heard that right. For a limited time, when you buy a qualifying AC system from Matex, the furnace costs you nothing. There has never been a better time to upgrade your comfort with Matex, the most trusted service provider in Central Illinois for over 25 years. We don't know how much longer we can offer this, so don't miss out on our best deal ever. Call or visit GetTheFurnaceFree.com today to schedule your free in-home consultation. Matex. Feel the difference.
Get ready for the 7th annual Champaign County Area Restaurant Week. This 9-day celebration features our diverse and award-winning culinary scene with Filipino, Indian, Cambodian, Thai, Mexican, Caribbean, Italian, Zambian, vegetarian, vegan, soul food, farm to table, and standard American fare. You'll be able to find a restaurant, share your experience, and dine in or take out. It's Restaurant Week, January 27th through February 4th. For details, go to visitchampaigncounty.org.
When you're buying a battery, it's important to look beyond just the price and make sure you're buying a quality battery. So when you're buying one from the big box store, make sure you ask the question, what's the date on this battery? Is it dependable? Sometimes the big box stores have batteries that have been sitting on the shelf for years. Or you can just come to Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable, and buy your battery from the people who only do batteries. Interstate Batteries at 2504 North Madison, Champaign, way out there, but totally worth the drive. How much is dependable worth to you? Interstate Batteries open 6 days a week.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to serve our local community through financial guidance and community investment. Offering sound advice and actionable insight, Busey builds financial strength, supports homeownership dreams, and offers customized lending strategies, connecting with our neighbors to build stronger communities. Busey Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
An agreement is reached. It's hitting parts of the south and central U.S. from New Mexico to Tennessee with widespread impacts in Texas.
Here in Abilene, about 180 miles to the west of Dallas, the roads are beginning to ice over. Over a half an inch of ice is expected in the next 24 hours as crops are beginning to freeze over and the winds are picking up.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray, at least 2 deadly crashes reported and thousands of flights disrupted, with the storm forecast to continue into Thursday. It's official in New Mexico. Just getting word, a prosecutor has filed criminal charges in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer by Alec Baldwin on the set of his movie Rust. He and the film's armorer have previously said they will fight the charges. Vice President Kamala Harris now planning to head to Memphis tomorrow to attend the funeral for Tyree Nichols, 5 fired officers charged with murder over his traffic stop beating. The president and the House Speaker have a meeting planned for tomorrow on the nation's debt.
Republican leaders say a debt limit increase this year must be accompanied by spending reforms, and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy believes there is room to find common ground with President Biden.
We're responsible to pay, but you wouldn't just raise the limit. You find out where you're spending your money. Every family does that. Every business does that.
The White House has insisted Congress raise the debt limit without conditions, arguing Republicans agreed to increases during the Trump administration. The Treasury Secretary says measures extending the debt limit will expire in June. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
McCarthy's office sharing a memo ahead of that meeting, highlighting a vote by then Senator Biden against raising the debt limit in 2006. A late rally on Wall Street, the Dow up about 370 at the closing bell. America is listening to Fox News.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Yes.
The Indiana Supreme Court will not take up a challenge to the state's current abortion ban, leaving it to an appeals court for now.
The American Civil Liberties Union filed a suit last year on behalf of religious groups, Jews and Muslims included, saying the state ban on abortion except in cases of rape, incest, or danger to the life of the mother or fetus goes against when those religious groups deem the procedure to be acceptable. Currently, abortions are legal in Indiana after the state Supreme Court upheld a lower court's block of the law on grounds of privacy violations. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A Milwaukee-based conservative law group challenging new gun regulations on stabilizing braces.
The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty sues the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives in a Texas federal court, challenging a new rule to tighten restrictions on stabilizing braces for firearms that can convert pistols into rifles with a barrel of less than 16 inches. Alleging the rule imposes potential criminal liability on millions exercising their Second Amendment rights, claiming the accessories make firing more accurate and safer. The accessory used in 2019 and 2021 mass shootings. The Biden administration, citing the National Firearms Act, has placed restrictions on short-barreled rifles since the 1930s, arguing they're easier to conceal than long-barreled rifles and more destructive than typical handguns.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. France says more than 1 million protesters have taken part in the latest round of nationwide demonstrations over proposed pension reforms, including raising the retirement age from 62 to 64. Union organizers say the turnout was even bigger, and they're planning more protests next month. Recapping the big rally on Wall Street, the Dow up about 369 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ also gaining more than 1%. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana this Saturday. Quiet weather picture expected here for the next 5 to 7 days. Nice recovery on temperatures briefly later on this week. One cold snap expected for Friday, and a more significant milder spell expected for next week. And the signs and maps and charts all pointing towards a wetter weather pattern early next week as well. Mostly sunny, cold for the day today. Afternoon temperatures up around 21 on a light northwest wind. Fair cold tonight. Lows between 8 and 12 above. On a gentle west wind for the day tomorrow, partly cloudy, not so cold in the afternoon tomorrow night, about 30 degrees, down near 20 tomorrow night, and a better feel on Thursday, partly sunny, south wind up to 37. A cold snap expected for Friday, highs up near 23, but then recovering to 35 on Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Quiet weather expected over the course of the weekend. Next weather system of Pacific origins brings some rain in here for late Monday, Tuesday next week. High temperatures, though, into the 40s. For Steve J. Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay. It's showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Pipes is writing down a lot of stuff. I'm just going to go from the gut. And joining us now, Coach Bielema.
Josh Whitman joining us now.
You get to say all the cool name drops.
Do it.
Brad Underwood, our guest.
College hoops.
How do you lose to Jackson State?
Call up every single person in the media that didn't put Kofi first team All-American. And I don't know, just play like clown noises.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh, Michael Porter Jr. has been good, but he thinks the earth is flat, so I can't pick him.
Oh, boy.
Throw it up to Kofi, and he's just going to tear the rim off.
How is he so good? All right, Hans, I'm going to mute you for a while.
Okay.
Oh, there's a timeout on the court!
So what we want to do is build a same-game parlay that will win all of us some money.
Maybe Rondale Moore could be Cooper Kupp, but he's not. Is it Instagram?
Yeah.
Is that what IG means?
I think you have to win the Big Ten title to win Big Ten Player of the Year.
Woohoo!
Wow, what a bad take.
Oh, yeah. Good evening, everyone. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive would say, and Piper, you heard from Derek in the first hour. You'll also hear from him next hour when we re-air our first hour show. He joined us from State Farm Center as Illinois getting ready to battle Nebraska tonight. The Cornhuskers in town for a 6 o'clock start. Now, Kyle Tosk is here with me today. We are going to visit a little bit later this hour with Calamity McIntyre, Coach McIntyre of the Illini women's basketball squad. She's an assistant coach. We'll talk to her about the team in general. You'll hear a little bit from Brad Underwood coming up. We've cut up some of his audio from when he met with the media yesterday. Heard, of course, from Derek Piper at the on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance Roll phone line in the first hour. Your text coming in on the U of I Illini Link text line. Lewis said he's calling it right now. RJ, offensive breakout game tonight, 20-plus points. Boy, I know if anybody needs to see a ball go through a rim, it is RJ Melendez. So I'm hoping that that is the case. A 651 said that Trent just signed, Trent Frazier, with a team in the Puerto Rican League. So Trent Frazier taking his talent that direction. James mentioned that former 49ers defensive coordinator DeMarco Ryans and the Houston Texans reached agreement on a 6-year deal per sources. So now the Texans even getting ahead of the Cardinals and hiring who they want to hire, because the news that broke earlier that the Denver Broncos and New Orleans Saints are working right now to figure out what Denver needs, because it appears Sean Payton is going to become the next head coach of the Denver Broncos. So, of course, my Arizona Cardinals, we never do anything right. It seemed like there was one more. Oh, Wade had sent yesterday, or I'm sorry, earlier, that 2023 East-West Shrine Bowl QB rankings. Get this, Tommy DeVito shines above the rest. So Tommy DeVito doing some stuff in the Shrine game. So that is that's very, very cool. with regards to that. It seemed like, was there another, someone asked about, asking Pipes about the lefty from Canada that we offered. I didn't know about that, so I did not ask Derek that. I apologize to that. I think I got everything I needed.
Going back to the DeVito thing,
Yes.
which is awesome. I know the Senior Bowl is also starting up right now, which Chase Brown, Sidney Brown, and Quan Martin are participating in, and that's a big event for guys that are kind of in those middle to late rounds, and the older guys to really boost their stock with some of the drills in the game that happen there. So that's something to keep an eye on.
That's
as well.
awesome. That's awesome. And like you said, I mean, that'd be great for Tommy if he could latch
And for
on.
him, yeah, of course.
With an NFL team, but for others as well, that would be fantastic. And of course, you know, we're going to see hopefully a couple of Illini drafted. You had mentioned you had looked at a mock draft, and Devin Witherspoon was pretty high on that draft.
Devin Witherspoon is getting a lot of buzz in that upper to middle first round of the draft, which is cool to see. I know Daniel Jeremiah, who's one of the top draft analysts. I think he's working for NFL Network, maybe. I'll have to check that, but he has Devin Witherspoon as his number 5 overall prospect in the entire draft. Number 1 corner, and I know there's some other analysts that are starting to rank him as the first corner off the board, which is pretty awesome to see. If he sneaks into the top 10, that would be just an unbelievable accomplishment, not only for him, but for Illinois and this coaching staff.
No doubt.
And everyone.
No doubt. I would love him on my team, but I don't know that I would draft him with a 3rd pick overall. But certainly
When
I
you're
would
deciding
love.
between him and Will Anderson, I don't think.
Maybe if Will's gone, you trade down and
take him. There you
land
go.
Witherspoon. I'd be all right with that. Oh, it was Heath. He said, interesting, you're going to Clifton tonight. My son's got a game at Clifton Central, and he said when you were talking yesterday about unique high school gymnasiums, I had mentioned Taylorville and West Frankfort are 2 of my favorites. He mentioned that he thought of the gym in Clifton. It's below ground level and kind of a pit. And I had Rob Craddock, one of my buddies, his son Reed plays on our squad, and he had mentioned that as well, that this is supposed to be a really cool gym. So I'm looking forward. I've never been to Clifton's gym, so I'm looking forward to adding that to one of my top favorite gyms in the state of Illinois. I would love to do a segment sometime and have everybody fire in their favorite gym that they love to go and watch basketball in. We'll do that someday, not today, of course, because we've still got a lot to do. We're going to hear from Brad Underwood, again, Calamity McIntyre, Coach Mac, joining us. So I got to ask her if they call her that. But she's joining us near the bottom of the hour as well. All right, Kyle, I gave you some homework. I gave you some homework of looking up the career series. I kept calling season series, but luckily you knew what I meant. The career series of Illinois versus this team in the Big Ten. I'm anxious to hear how this is going to go. Obviously, Nebraska, Penn State, that's not many games against those two, and Rutgers and such. So those will be, I'm guessing even with all 3 of those, that Illinois would have more wins than the other team. But who knows what happened back in 1928. So I'll ask you, Kyle, to go through the list, and I'm anxious to hear this. I'm anxious, and I hope our listeners are too, because I think it's always really cool when you hear how Illinois in the history of its basketball program has done against other Big Ten programs. So I will, because you know why? Because we all live in different generations, right? Like, so let's say Iowa to you might be not as good as they were to me, because Iowa was unbelievable when I was. So it's just kind of everybody lives in a different generation where you talk about one team and you think, oh my gosh, Michigan State's the best team that's ever been in the Big Ten. And then you might be sitting there going, really? But, they had been to a national champion, or they won a national title. They've been to all Final Four every 4 years, one of those. So, all right, I'll shut up and let you take this away. I'm anxious to hear.
I'll start with the newer teams that we don't have as many matchups against. Rutgers, Illinois is 10-4 against 14 all-time matchups. I know the last couple of years they've given Illinois some trouble at the rack, but Illinois is 6-0 at State Farm Center against Rutgers. Maryland, 7-14. Illinois in 21 all-time meetings.
They've always kind of been a bugaboo.
That makes some sense. They have really, especially with Brad Underwood, and even back in those John Gross teams when they first joined the Big Ten, they had Illinois' number a little bit. Nebraska,
I can't get a pen to work. I literally can't get a pen to work. And I just wanted to kind of not write all these down. You got a pen handy? Just throw that one out.
This is the only one I got.
All right. We have 900 pens in this building, and I can't get a hold of one. All right, so go ahead. My apologies.
Illinois is 20-8 against Nebraska in 28 all-time meetings. And
soon to be 21-8.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Penn State, Illinois is 32-20 in 52 all-time meetings.
Okay, that's a little closer. That's been another program, though, that has been a little bit of a bugaboo to
yeah,
Illinois.
for sure. Especially when you think back to that 36,
Taylor battle. Yeah, right,
the 36-33 game that I was too young for, but God. All right, so now we get into some of the ones that have a lot of meetings dating back to the early 1900s.
A lot of history here.
Is there any particular one you want me to start with?
Ohio State.
110-81. Illinois is all-time against Ohio State.
So really? I didn't know it'd be that. I mean, that's domination right there. So we've beaten Ohio State 110 times. They've beaten us 80.
81, yeah.
81, I'm sorry. Okay, how about let's go not Iowa. How about Minnesota?
Minnesota, Illinois is 128-68.
Okay, and we've won like 58 straight against the Gophers, I think. It's right. We've won like 57 of the last 58. I'm kidding,
like
but
that. They did win 20 in a row from 1999 to 2008.
Yeah. Well, I remember it well.
And I think the current streak.
A couple of those, I think, won Big Ten titles in that. I know Frank get one. How about Wisconsin?
117-88 against
so
Wisconsin.
Man, Illinois really powering through here. How about Purdue?
Purdue has Illinois' number a little bit.
Dang it!
Illinois is 90-104, so it's pretty close still, but Purdue's got the 14-game edge there and almost creeping up on 200 all-time meetings.
How about Michigan State?
Now, this is the closest one there is.
Okay.
Illinois is 63-64 against Michigan State all-time.
Oh, my goodness. So one more
game will even it up. Do they play them again at Breslin Center this year or not?
I think no.
I think they only play them once this year, so they'll have to wait till next year to even up the all-time series, unfortunately.
I think you're right. That's interesting. All right, and then let's see.
Well, I'll throw another really close one at you. Indiana. Illinois is 91-95 against Indiana all time.
So Indiana's got us by 4 games.
4 games.
See, that game earlier this year would have been big.
Yeah, it would have gotten it to 92-94.
So we've done 10 teams so far. How about Michigan?
Illinois leads the all-time series against Michigan 92-85.
Wow, that's close. Okay, all right.
Very close.
And then I'm writing some of these down. Who am I forgetting? I know we got Iowa. We've got who else?
Iowa. Okay, Iowa, Illinois is 89-76 all-time against.
All right, 89-76. That's good. Okay.
Who else? Oh, Northwestern.
Oh, wow, that's like
Illinois
240-3.
You're not that far off. 141-44.
Oh my goodness. All right, so that's a blowout.
And Illinois never lost more than 3 straight at any point in that 185 game.
You researched that?
Series. No, that just popped up on the website.
I was going to say, you know what you deserve for that? You deserve a little. Wow, that's loud.
I wish I could take credit for that.
That's pretty good,
but
that's pretty good.
You can thank Illinois' website for it.
Is that it?
Is that it? We did Michigan.
I've got
Michigan State.
9 and 4 is 13.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, because we're 14. All right. Good stuff, man. So Illinois, through that, I hope everybody enjoyed that. So Illinois essentially is 9 and 4 in the Big Ten versus, having the better. They have the better overall record against 9 teams, and there's 4 that have a better record. Maryland, believe it or not, and Purdue. Purdue, 14 better than you. Michigan State only 1, and Indiana only 4. That's amazing. And then Maryland's like 14-7. So it's early, but Maryland's certainly always done their job.
Flip that Michigan State one, then
Let's
go 10-3.
Let's do.
Let's get Indiana, too, here coming up. Come on.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you'll hear from Brad Underwood on tonight's game. It is The Drive.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window, and we're proud to be your choice for the 2021 People's Choice Awards for the 3rd year in a row. We want to say thank you by offering buy one, get one 50% off on all windows. And you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com. And remember, at Kramer Siding and Window, you have a friend in the business.
Want to work at a golf course? Rodham's Golf Management is looking for you. Just come to the U of I Golf Course Saturday, February 4th, 9 to 1 to apply and have an in-person interview. Or Iron Horse Golf Course, February 8th from 4 to 7. Who wouldn't want to work at a golf course? Again, Saturday, February 4th, 9 to 1, U of I Orange and Blue in Savoy. Or Wednesday, February 8th from 4 to 7 at Iron Horse, Tuscola. For details, call Mike Wallner or email Mike at mwallner@uofigolf.com.
Carl works every day to improve the health of community members across the region, and it would not be possible without team members like Dwayne Linton, a nationally certified nurse in the emergency department at Carl Foundation Hospital.
I work with a team of people who really care about what they do and are very flexible and adaptive in rapidly changing critical situations, and I would trust any of them at any time.
If you're looking for an opportunity to serve your community like Dwayne in a supportive environment, visit carl.org/careers.
Buy the AC and get the furnace for free. You heard that right. For a limited time, when you buy a qualifying AC system from Matex, the furnace costs you nothing. There has never been a better time to upgrade your comfort with Matex, the most trusted service provider in Central Illinois for over 25 years. We don't know how much longer we can offer this, so don't miss out on our best deal ever. Call or visit getthefurnacefree.com today to schedule your free in-home consultation. Matex. Feel the difference.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. Don't miss the final days of our Everything BOGO sale. Through Sunday only, you can buy 1 square foot of any floor and get the second foot half off. That's any carpet, any floor. Our hottest selling luxury vinyl floors, durable and pet-friendly carpet, beautiful hardwood, and classic tile. It's all BOGO half off, including our Shaw Floors collection and incredible waterproof Cortec floors. Discounts on material only. See store for details. Then shop our amazing selection of furniture, rugs, and accessories. It's all buy one, get one half off. Plus, you can buy any carpet or any floor with special 2 years financing with 0 interest. You'll always find unmatched service from our family-owned business. If you're ready to start a project, we're here for you. Don't miss the Everything BOGO sale through Sunday only at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. We're flooring people.
A tradition of excellence over 150 years in the making. At Busey Bank, we're committed to building relationships that span generations. Wherever your journey in life leads you, we are with you along the way, creating a legacy for you and your family. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hey Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Why is the 2-point defense that you guys have been so successful?
You know, I think we've got it's understated. I think, and I think, you know, as soon as I say something, it'll go the other way. But you know, I think we've been a surprisingly good shot blocking team. I think we've been able to challenge with some length. I think, you know, you've got RJ, you've got Terrence, you've got Matt. You know, Coleman is a well-established defender in college basketball. You know, and then, you know, you put Dane in there, and you've got length and you've got size, and you've got guys who are mobile. You know, we've just kind of grown into, you know, forcing hard twos and trying to contest. And, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, shooting over a little length is something that we've taken a lot of pride in.
Because you've won 6 of the last 7 games, it can be easy to look past one of the weaker teams in the Big Ten. But like you said before, there's no easy games in this conference. How do you keep the guys from underestimating a team like Nebraska?
Creighton, who's really good. They beat. You know, this is a team that has arguably had Purdue beat. This is a team that, you know, has won on the road. This is a team that again, I try to keep every game independent of each other, of any others. But if you don't go out and play and you don't go out defensively, and that's what I'm trying to have us build on is the defensive side. It doesn't matter what the jersey says. We have to guard. We have to play hard. We have to get 50-50s balls. We have to get stay connected on the glass. We have to continue to grow on that area and try to do it every day in practice so it becomes a habit no matter who we play.
So with your added length defensively, I know a lot of your philosophies have been similar from last year, but how much has the added length changed what you can do or what you do, or how much has that sort of changed the approach or not?
Yeah, it's no doubt it's changed some things. The fundamental things are pretty much the same. It's a little different having Coleman at the 4 and Matt at the 3, and all of a sudden you're 6'8" or 6'9", 6'10", and Terrence as a big guard. You bring RJ in at 6'6" with his length and athleticism. Ty Rodgers with his length and athleticism. And we haven't had that. So in terms of our depth, Sincere, 6'4", long, we haven't had that kind of length and depth top to bottom, and that's the biggest difference is we can just kind of stay with it, over the course of a game and not lose if we go smaller or go to our bench.
I know you had credited Chester and Tim with this defensive improvement. I know they've had their hands on it. Is there anything that stands out about just the conversations you had with those guys during that game or games you were in the 50s and kind of made the pivot away from the switch everything and into more traditionally what you have?
Yeah, I think it's the main thrust was playing hard. We can say all we want schematically. It was about playing hard. We went through a lull where we didn't play very hard. We played hard enough to beat Texas, and then we just hit the skids. And then there's accountability from a scouting report standpoint. And we knew we were going to be young. We knew we were going to have mistakes, but the number of mistakes we were making, most of them were caused by some of the switches we made. Now it was also good to us, but it was also very apparent that the number of mistakes was a lot of the switching. And you can switch when you get older, but it's very challenging to do that with a young team that is still learning how to talk. And so hence a lot of the changes.
What are some things you want to see from Sincere as Jaden starts to take on more minutes at guard?
Yeah, just continued growth. He's a young man that spends a lot of time working on his offensive game. It's something that defensively he's going to continue to help us and impact us when he's in the game. He's a guy that got to keep shooting balls. He's got to keep understand what we do offensively, and as that role, he's going to impact us. So there's going to be some night he's going to be needed for a lot of minutes, and keeping the understanding that this thing's all about day-to-day improvement, and that's our goal with all these guys.
Did you know this team would be more of a block shot team instead of a rotate over and take charge team? Do you know that going into the year, or is that kind of developed?
I wish. I knew Matt, Matt's numbers. I think Matt was second in the Big 12 in block rate coming in. And, so we look at all that stuff in the analytics when we were involved with him. We've done Coleman's length. We didn't get a ton of blocks from Kofi. He was more of a wall, but Dane's given us some of that. And then RJ and Ty, just their length, ability to fly to shooter and block a jump shot. We haven't had a lot of that. I didn't foresee it. I thought we would be better, but at the level we are, I didn't. I wish I could say I foresaw that.
Can you talk about that moment with Coleman last game? I know Matt and Terrence Walken have had moments as leaders too. What was kind of the process over the last month to get them to that point and kind of a bigger leadership role than they've had maybe at previous stops in previous years?
Well, they're all terrific human beings, and they all care, and they're all about the name on the front of the uniform. And you know, there's good teammates and there's bad teammates, and all those guys are great teammates, and they want to help everybody, and sometimes they all go about it in a different manner. But you know, when you can get those roles identified, and those roles have become identified. Coleman the other night in Madison was by far and away the best game he has had in terms of what I thought was leadership, and just the talk in the huddle, the talk with his teammates about, hey, you know, he sees the game like a coach, and you know, hey, the shakes are there, or you know, we got to get to the high shake, and then look inside, and just his. When it comes from me, it's one thing, but when it comes from a player, it's sometimes got a little more impact, and you know, asking him literally in a huddle, what do you like? And you know, it's you know, in a night where Terrence wasn't having a great night, got in foul trouble early, was out of rhythm, and he's staying super positive in the huddle, you know, and trying to help teammates and build on the positivity that everybody else was bringing. That's growth. You know, Matt's kind of a quiet guy that does it a little differently, but you know, those guys all have their own way of doing things, and that's helped us a bunch.
Like a 12% difference in your 2-point percentage versus what you allow opponents, which is pretty high up there nationally. What does that tell you about the way you're able to maybe pair those things on both sides of the ball? Yeah, it's something we look at a lot. You know, again, and it's you know, for us, we should be better offensively because we've had games where we've missed a lot of layups. You know, we started the game off missing 3 or 4 against Wisconsin, but you know, that side you're always looking for more and more and more. But you know, again, we want to challenge every shot. It's something we talk about a lot. It's something we want to contest everything. We don't want to leave anything uncontested. And you know, if guys are good enough to make it and shoot it over a hand, you know, you pat them on the rear end and say next time. But you know, over the consistency of 40 minutes, we want to try to force that. And you know, so far it's no different than what our philosophy's been the last couple years, last 3 years. So year four of it. But you know, this team's just has been really good at it.
RJ's been on a bit of a cold streak recently, but it seems like in each game he has some sort of moment where we see a glimpse of like explosiveness, like that dunk in the last game. So what are you looking to see from him over the last stretch of games to see more consistency out of him?
So you guys all think about offense. I don't. I think consistency is based on the defensive side, and RJ defensively has turned into probably one of the premier, if not the premier, perimeter defender, in my opinion, if in our league. Does an unbelievable job getting over screens, does an unbelievable job of challenging things. He's got great length, great athleticism. We know he's going to be, you know, he's going to get shots, he's going to make them. He's got to see a couple get in. You see that athleticism that has everybody drooling, you know, just the, you know, crossover, rip dribble, boom, up over 2 guys and dunk it. That's in his package. And you know, I keep telling him he shoots 1,000 balls a day. Just keep shooting them. And, you know, we've seen him last year, this year, in practice, go on huge runs, and it's coming for him. And you know, he's going to get good looks every night, and you know, he's going to jump up and make them. And when he does, everybody's going to say wow. But I'm not, because as long as he's guarding and doing the things that he's doing right now, he's playing really hard. I'm really pleased with RJ. Thank you.
That is Brad Underwood even telling you thank you at the end. So nice of him to do that. When we return, Coach Calamity McIntyre, Illinois women's basketball off to a rip-roaring start. This has been fun. and a lot still to do as they're projected at this point to make the NCAA tournament, of course, but a lot of games left. We'll talk to Coach McIntyre about that when we return. It is The Drive.
Now, the NIL jersey lineup for your Fighting Illini. Number 55, Sky Clark. Number 15, R.J. Melendez. Number 10, Luke Goody. Number 20, Ty Rogers. Number 0, Terrence Shannon Jr. And number 33, Coleman Hawkins. Get yours at State Farm Center on game day, online or in stores. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
If you're looking for a pre-owned car, truck, or van, look no further than Sarah Champagne. You know them for their 5 incredible vehicle brands, the BMW, Honda, Subaru, Buick, and GMC. But did you know they also have over 100 used cars, trucks, and vans in stock right now? And at Sarah Champagne, they will take care of you. You can trust them. And prices begin at under $2,000. Stop by Sarah Champagne. They're Burwash and Savoy, or go online, sarahchampagne.com. That's Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, champagne.com.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana. You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Hey, Illini fans, Jets Pizza is hiring both full and part-time team members. If you enjoy people and you're looking for a fast-paced, high-energy job, then Jets is the place for you. Need some extra cash? Starting pay is $12 an hour, and there's potential for promotion based on attitude and performance, and you'll get a good employee discount. The hardest part of the job is being around that amazing aroma of the homemade pizza sauce. Drive for Jets. Be a part of the Jets family today. Apply online at jetspizza.com. Jets Pizza, better because it has to be.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Are you ready to be cool and take the plunge this winter? The athletes of Special Olympics Illinois are counting on you. So join us to Plunge Illinois at Mahomet Polar Plunge, Saturday, March 11th at the Lake of the Woods. You can register as an individual or team today at plungeillinois.com. Got a school or college group that wants to get in on the chilly action? That's great. Region I hosts the Cool School Challenge and College Cup, a friendly competition to raise the most funds at the Polar Plunge and a chance to win money back for your school or collegiate group. Create a team today and get started. Your efforts will support local Special Olympics Illinois athletes, giving them access to life-changing programming all year long, like competitive sports and training, health education, as well as personal and leadership development. The 2023 Law Enforcement Torch Run Polar Plunge supporting Special Olympics Illinois will be held at Lake of the Woods in Mahomet on Saturday, March 11th. You can get all the info you need to Plunge Illinois at plungeillinois.com. Again, that's plungeillinois.com.
Imagine that you've lost everything. You've lost your job, your house, connection with your friends and family. You desperately want your situation to change, but your resources are limited and you don't know where to go. See You at Home provides pathways of progress out of homelessness. Each person who stays in our program receives 24/7 shelter and support to find their way out of homelessness and into stability. When you give to See You at Home, you provide this support with showers, laundry, 24/7 staff assistance, skill-building opportunities, and so much more. Join us this February 3rd for one winter night. You can join us as an outdoor participant or come and hear our keynote speaker, George Dennehy. For more information, contact us at 217-819-4569. Or to sign up or donate, go to seeyouathome.us.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B at Stevie J Broadcasting, and you are listening to the amazing ESPN Radio 93.5.
All right, getting close to tip-off. 6 o'clock tip-off tonight. State Farm Center, Illinois, and Nebraska. Unranked Illini Fighting Illini squad, but hammered Nebraska and Lincoln earlier, so hoping for the same tonight. Kyle Tosk, the intern, was too wimpy to go stand in the crush line all night. Now, you're still going to go to the game, though, right?
I am.
Yeah, so you'll be sitting up top.
That's
with
right.
people like me.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, it stinks, doesn't it, to come up and sit with people like me?
It's not that bad.
You know, I could always get a press pass, but I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But of course, as you know, I've got high school basketball tonight with Andrews, so I won't be there, only in spirit. So Kyle will have to carry that for us. Well, while the Illini men play tonight, the Illini women have a break until Thursday, and that enabled assistant coach Calamity McIntyre to join us on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line. How are you, Coach?
Hey, doing well. How are you guys doing?
Well, good. Do you ever, on days like this, say, you know what, the Texas weather was pretty nice?
You know what? Whenever I walked outside this morning, I was like, oh, the sun's out, the skies are blue, and then I got outside and I was like, oh, wow. It felt real different. No, it's always 70 degrees in the gym, so I'm good.
Boom.
I'm good.
I was going to say that you just, I always I never wear coats, and people, they just make fun of me, but I'm like, it takes me 5 seconds to get to my car that's heated, to get then somewhere to take 5 seconds to get into the next building. I don't need a coat as I'm going through this.
I'm the same way. I ran in Harvest Market for lunch earlier today, and I didn't have a coat on.
See?
Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy.
They're like, she looks like that one guy. That's exactly what they're doing. They're like,
exactly.
These guys need coats. All right, Coach, let's get to the most important part of this. How is Reba?
Oh, she's doing good. She's actually just the other day, she opened up her new restaurant in Atoka, Oklahoma. They had the grand opening for it the other day. So I hate I had to miss it. I've been kind of busy. So,
well, right.
Didn't get to go to that one, but she's doing well. I actually got to see her over Christmas, so that's good.
That is awesome. Well, I know in our intro, it's me saying you are Reba McIntyre's niece. I think it's so funny, and I think that's awesome. She is just awesome. Well, listen, so are you, and so is this coaching staff and this team in general. 17-5. If I wrote the script, Coach, and said on January 31st, heading into the Michigan game in February, you'd be 17-5 and 7-4 in conference play, what would your honest answer back to me be?
I would have been like, man, that sounds really nice. I'm not sure what that looks like, but it sounds great. And we've had to remind ourselves after a couple games, we've had to take a step back and really look at, how far we've come and be proud of that. Meanwhile, it's in our staff's DNA and now our team's DNA to have high expectations and to work really hard and try to get better every day. So while that probably would have sounded good, in August,
sure.
Now this is where we're at, and we've set a high standard for ourselves, and we want to. The focus is just getting better.
Yep.
So in moments where we don't feel like we've grown, that's where we take a step back and be like, all right, this is not our ceiling. We want to continue to grow and get better and develop, and we think that our team did a great job of doing that and responding after that Purdue loss and bouncing back to beat Michigan State.
That's great you said that about Purdue, because I want to ask you about two games. I want to ask you about the Iowa victory, but I also want to ask you about Purdue, and I want to start there. I mean, let's be honest. I think Indiana's 20-1, so I don't think there's anything wrong with how you guys have played against the Hoosiers. But that Purdue team was a team behind you in the standings, and of course they came here and got you by 10. What went wrong there? What goes wrong for this team when they don't win? Because now all of a sudden we're just used to them winning.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. That game, it sounds so cliche, but we just didn't look like ourselves.
Got it.
And whenever your team doesn't look like what they have identified themselves as, what they've created as their identity, you as a coach start going, okay, now hold on. I don't know how to fix this because we've never looked like this.
Right.
And so, we were trying everything, but we we lacked energy. We lacked this intensity and hunger, and we just didn't respond very well to adversity that day, which is not like us. We're down at Indiana. You know, we had some adversity. We respond. We come back. We've got a shot to tie it at the end. You know, we've been in adverse situations where we really responded, and we just didn't have a lot of energy in that Purdue game to do so. And so we went back. We watched it together. We literally watched the whole first half, every possession together, and they got to see what they looked like, and they didn't like the way they looked. And so we talked about it. We probably had the best 2 days of practice following that game that we had in a long time, and that reassured us that our team wants to respond to the adversity of losing that game. We just needed to do it during the game and didn't get there.
Well, it's a learning process.
If we can learn from that, we'll be in good shape.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just described my TV career. When I'd watch myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. Don't. So, you know, I did
have those moments.
I just stopped watching. That was what I did. That was the easiest way. Coach McIntyre, Calamity McIntyre is our guest, Illinois assistant coach on the Illini women's squad. I want to ask you then now about the Iowa game. Does that game tell you that you guys, and not only that, but the Ohio State game when you had them on the ropes, does that tell you that you can play against anybody in this country?
I think our team believes that. I think our team believes that whenever they are focused and playing hard and staying together and that they are really locked in on what the game plan is, I think they have proved that they can play with anybody. Obviously, matchups come into play here and there, but we're a team who's very confident in what we do and how we do it. And when we play, you know, we always say, show up and be your best self today. You have an opportunity today to be the very best you've ever been, ever. And if we continue to do that and grow, I truly believe we can compete with anyone. And I think our team believes that. And Coach Green has done a great job in leading our team to have the confidence to be successful. And that's what matters the most.
What does it say about bringing in a new coaching staff, bringing in new players, putting them all together, and achieving success? What does that say about your squad and the ladies on your team?
Yeah, well, first it says a lot about Coach Green.
No doubt.
Like, she's an amazing leader. She demands for you to show up every single day and to try to be better and to be your best self that day. And so it starts from the top down. I mean, she's an amazing leader, and then it speaks true to the messaging that she's putting out and that our staff is putting out, that our players are willing to just completely buy in and give of themselves for the betterment of the team. And, you know, they've done an outstanding job of trusting the process, trusting our coaching staff, trusting Coach Green and the vision that she has, and then just doing the work. Like, you can trust it all, you can do all that, but then you're not willing to really work. Like, our team is in the gym, they're working, they're getting shots up, they're watching film, they've really embraced the process of getting better. And so, I mean, who knows where it goes from here, right? We don't worry about yesterday too much. We don't worry about tomorrow. Like, I know we just finished practice. We got a little bit better today, and then we'll turn around and try to do the same again tomorrow, and hopefully that continues to build. But credit the players for completely buying into what we're doing.
Amen.
Hey, Coach, it's Kyle. I'm curious, how cool has it been for you guys to see the fan support around Illinois women's basketball? I know you guys have had some awesome crowd turnouts at State Farm Center here in the month of January. What's that been like to see you guys, with the winning you're doing, generate so much fan and community support for Illinois women's basketball?
Yeah, Kyle, that's a great question. It's funny because whenever we got here, like, people told us, like, you know, we felt like we were watching Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. And so we were hearing of all the support, and we would be in the community, and everybody would be speaking to us, you know, and asking us what recruit we're having in town and this and that, you know.
That's awesome.
But then we start winning a little bit, and then just a few more come, and a few more come. And it's just started whenever we walked out the other night, and, you know, we had just lost to Purdue. We're back at home versus Michigan State, and we walked out, and those people in the upper deck, we were like, oh, dang, this is awesome. And then already hearing the amount of tickets that are being sold for the Minnesota game next Sunday. And so, like, we are so incredibly grateful, and I hope Illini Nation knows not only how much it means to us, but how much it helps us It helps us win games. It helps us in recruiting. It helps our players see that their hard work is really paying off and that their hard work is being noticed by Illini Nation. And man, sometimes that gym gets loud and it's rocking in there. And I'm telling you, it's a true home court advantage, which we got to experience early at Indiana. Indiana's one of the first places we went and played in conference, and there was 6,000 plus in there. And I know whenever, we cut it and it got tight, that crowd got really loud. And so the fact that Illini Nation is coming out and really showing up for us and creating that true home court environment for us, it just means the world. And we hope we can continue to get people to come out and support.
That's awesome. Last one for Calamity McIntyre, assistant coach, Illinois women's basketball. Of course, you mentioned Minnesota on Sunday at 2 o'clock. That's at State Farm Center. Before that, you guys have a tussle with a top 20 team, and that's at Michigan Thursday night. What do we expect? What can we expect? That game will be, by the way, on the Big Ten Network, so we'll be able to watch that. It's a 5:30 tip in Ann Arbor. What do we expect out of this Wolverine squad?
Yeah, they're a great team, and it's another great opportunity for us to go on the road and play versus a very tough team. They're a team that's pretty big across the board. They're point guard 6'1", and they're 6 foot across the board and then 6'3" inside. So very big team, plays extremely hard, gets after it, and it's a great opportunity for us to go in and get after it. We don't back down. We're definitely not veered away from any competition. So we're excited to go on the road and have another opportunity to see what we can do versus a really, really solid Michigan team. Wonderful. Coach McIntyre, it's been an honor. We always appreciate your time, and has been just a lot of fun, as Kyle said, watching this team. And look, I mean, there was a lot of years of woefulness about this program. So if it's taken a little bit longer for everybody to really understand what it's all about, we know why. And it's not because of you guys or this team, but I think what we're seeing is positive. People coming out, I hope they absolutely pack that place for Minnesota. 7 more Big Ten games, of course, the Big Ten tournament, and then the NCAA tournament, we hope, at the end will be awesome. So, Coach McIntyre, thank you so much. Enjoy a night. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys having me, and definitely appreciate y'all's support. Absolutely. Thank you, Coach. That is awesome. Calamity McIntyre, assistant coach for the Illini women's squad. Shauna Green, of course. We just went the entire interview without mentioning any of the players, and I think to a little bit of an extent, Kyle, there was a little bit of a purpose for me on that, because there are so many. There's not just one, right? I mean, you can rip off 3 or 4 of these names, or more than that. Genesis, Makaira, Kendall, Alexi. You just go down the list, or Adelaide. I'm sorry, not Alexi. You just go down the list, and you could talk about any one of these players and what they've been able to do this season. But to me, it's just a team. And they've really shown that this season, and that's what's awesome about it. And again, a squad that is 17-5. I asked her the question. If I would have told you back, she mentioned August, which was perfect. If I'd have told you in August you were going to be 17-5, 7-4 in the conference start in February, if you would have told me that, Kyle, I would have laughed you out of a building. And that's not a cut on Shauna Green or anybody. It's just been so long since we've seen that out of this program. So to be able to hold your head high and know that your women's program is winning just like the men's, that's fun, man. And for you on campus, Kyle, I bet that's pretty fun to have both programs, and even coming off football. I mean, I've said you're like the luckiest freshman I've ever met in my life, but you had a great football season that won 8 games and went to a Super Bowl game. Now you got the men's squad that's getting everything properly in place as they start this stretch run in the Big Ten. You've got the Illini women who, if they could get a win tomorrow night and then come home and beat Minnesota, all of a sudden you're a game away from 20 wins, and you'd have 9 conference wins. You'd be literally a win away from 10 in the conference and 20 overall. That's a pretty cool thing when you know all these other Illinois sports are winning at high levels as well. Yeah, I don't want to take credit for turning around the athletic department, but as soon as I stepped on campus, football's got 8 wins, competing for the Big Ten. The women's team is 17-5. Josh Whitman owes you an award. I know. I mean, it's really
As soon as I got here, the athletic teams are all having success at the same time. So I don't know what I could say, but yeah, it's been really fun. I mean, just being the sports fan I am personally, and just how much that these teams mean to the university, and just kind of the whole vibe around Illinois. It's awesome to see all these teams have success and being able to get to games and really, not be cheering on teams at the bottom of the conference and trying to force that. So it's been a lot of fun.
Now, there is a chance that Illinois men tonight could end the evening in second place in the Big Ten.
That is right.
Which is unbelievable considering they started 0-3 in the league, right? When you look back at that, and when you start that much behind the 8 ball in a Big Ten, you start to wonder how this is going to end up, and to fight your way up to second possibly in the Big Ten. Now, of course, what helps there is you've got a lot of teams that are they're all bunched up together, so that certainly helps you. But, I mean, they're not going to lose tonight against Nebraska. We know that. They better not lose. They're not going to lose.
That'll be clipped if they lose.
They're not going to lose. I say I'm going 86-68, by the way. I'm going 86-68 tonight in that. 18-point win. What do you got?
I have 80-57.
Okay, so
I think they're going to hold them in the 50s. Nebraska doesn't have a lot of firepower, and they crack that 80 mark.
I love that. So Illinois men, of course, if they can get the win, or when they get the win tonight, they'll be 16-6. They'll go to 7-4 in the conference, and as mentioned, that would be possibly if Northwestern would lose to Iowa, I believe is the way it works. It's funny we're talking about Northwestern up there like that.
Yeah, the other two Big Ten games tonight, Indiana is at Maryland, 8 o'clock on ESPN2, and then as you just mentioned, Northwestern is at Iowa, 8 o'clock, Big Ten Network.
Well, Iowa's going to win that. And then Indiana, that'll be a dogfight at Maryland. Maryland playing a lot better. So, all right, Kyle, good stuff, my friend. Everybody, we appreciate on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line, talking to Derek Piper, first hour. You're going to hear that again as we replay the next hour. And then, of course, Coach Calamity McIntyre, Illinois assistant coach. I wonder if she gets mad that I always ask her about Reba. I mean, come on, Reba McIntyre's your aunt. I mean, that's awesome. That is just so awesome. All right, let's get a win tonight. We'll talk about it all tomorrow. We'll see you then. It is The Drive.
Kurt Lehman at Aftershock. What do they do?
We'll start with the cheaper end of it. We do anything we print on direct-to-substrate, so we'll do yard signs, we'll do banners, and then we'll get into doing the die-cut graphics for like fleet graphics, so we'll do stuff for wall graphics, doing stuff like that, and then into where we do, partial vehicle wraps. They can be partial vehicle wraps can be very cost-effective, really make the vehicle stand out without covering every inch, of them.
AftershockDD.com.
I've got to clean out this garage. Let's see. What's the cheapest and easiest dumpster service in our area?
Here's what I found. The doggy bag.
Think she's broken. I'm not looking for takeout. Siri, try again.
The doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal in Mahomet.
Doggy bag? What's that?
If you got junk that needs to go, but you don't want the hassle of having an enormous dumpster delivered, grab a doggy bag, keep it as long as you need. They'll come take it away. For more information, just visit BulldoggyBag.com.
That's BulldoggyBag.com.
If you're in the market for a new car battery, you could go to one of those big box stores, except there's no guarantee you'll be served by an actual car expert.
Clean up in aisle 3.
You could pick a battery off the shelf, except it might be close to expiring. Or you could just come into Interstate. Don't make a big box store blunder. With competitive prices and a more personal, reliable approach, Interstate Batteries is the clear-cut choice if you want to guarantee yourself a new and trustworthy car battery. They're open and ready to serve you at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. Don't miss the final days of our Everything BOGO sale. Through Sunday only, you can buy 1 square foot of any floor and get the second foot half off. That's any carpet, any floor. Our hottest selling luxury vinyl floors, durable and pet-friendly carpet, beautiful hardwood, and classic tile. It's all BOGO half off, including our Shaw Floors collection and incredible waterproof COREtec floors. Discounts on material only. See store for details. Then shop our amazing selection of furniture, rugs, and accessories. It's all buy one, get one half off. Plus, you can buy any carpet or any floor with special 2 years financing with 0 interest. You'll always find unmatched service from our family-owned business. If you're ready to start a project, we're here for you. Don't miss the Everything BOGO sale through Sunday only at Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. We're flooring people.
Hi, I'm Nicole Gorman with Above Able Boutique. I'm on the Eastern Illinois Food Bank prom court trying to become queen and alleviate food insecurity in Eastern Illinois. Your donations count as votes towards my campaign while helping feed our neighbors in need. You could attend the event, donate, or be a sponsor of this Vegas Night fundraiser on March 4th. When you donate, Eastern Illinois Food Bank is able to feed 1 out of 7 kids in the 18-county service area suffering from food insecurity. Help support me like my friends at Ashley by visiting eifoodbank.org, clicking on the event tab, then prom court, and selecting me, Nicole. Thank you so much.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your